Welcome to the forum. I'm back with my special guest today, Rita Coco from Rita Coco Consulting, and Frank D'Amelio from Target Intellect. How you guys doing?
Great.
Excellent.
So we're going to have an open discussion about things to consider when writing marketing communications. And we can try to boil it down to 3, but with this panel, it's probably going to get a little heavier than that, I would guess. So anyone want to take a shot at maybe some of the top things you think we should be considering when writing marketing communications?
One of the challenges that I have as a small business is a lot of things that I do is through the email. Mm-hmm. And so how do you get people to open up your email? What kind of subject line can you use? How can you grab their attention and give them a reason to be reading what you're writing?
So in other words, you're saying, tell them right away, what's in it for me?
The what's in it for me, absolutely. And I can share one of the things that I've done. It's kind of a trick more than a strategy, and it works. Basically, when I send out an e-blast to my entire database population, one of the issues is when people realize that it's an e-blast, they tend not to open it. Mm-hmm. So one thing that, for example, I use eye contact, and what it lets you do is it lets you put in the subject line the person's name. And of course, the email goes just to that person. So it looks very personal. And then I will put something like, hey, and I'll keep it informal. I think one of the biggest things is if you're overly formal, people know it's marketing. But if you're informal, hey, John, can you check this out? Let me know what you think. And you put that in the subject line, everybody will open up that email. Now, I say it's a trick more than a strategy because if you keep doing it, you can see the rate go down and down and down if you analyze it. But if there's something important, that's a great way to catch their attention.
Right. What's in it for me is really important. And it's hard sometimes when you think about sending out a blast because as
Frank. Yeah, he's so forgettable.
As Frank was saying, he's going to kill me on that one. But yes, he is, thank goodness. He's friends. As we look at it, we need to be very personal. And how can we be personal, as Frank was saying? So what's in it for me when I think of either a letter, which is very singular rather than an e-blast, is that you're talking to the person about them, and you have to relinquish the fact that you're trying to have something being done or being something for you or being brought back to you. So I'm trying to sell something. I'm trying to get them to do something. How about, well, what is it in for them? What can you be talking about the whole time for them? So it's really a giving kind of a conversation that you have to have up front, and a thought about what's in their mind. What do they want to be seeing on the paper or seeing on the email?
But also, too, so when we're marketing, we're supposed to touch again and again and again and again. It's that repeat, hitting then with things. But what you guys are kind of saying, too, is make it a little more personal. Mm-hmm. Make it so that it's not so formal. Mm-hmm. So, gosh, you know what? We're all in the struggle together.
Right.
One thing I read today, which I thought was great, and I don't do this. I don't do this at all, was what if somebody like Twitter looked at your birthday and tweeted you and said happy birthday to you? You'd be shocked, right? That you got that. Mm-hmm. Or if Dunkin' Donuts, if they did it and they said, here's a coupon, come on your birthday and we'll give you a free coffee.
Right.
What are you more likely to do? Of course.
Well, that's interesting. One of the things that I can't remember the name of the book, but I read, it talked about everybody sends Christmas cards, carte blanche. However, if you remember somebody's birthday, they'll remember that because most people, even family members, tend to forget birthdays.
Right.
So if you have, I know that Plaxo does a great job. If you use Plaxo, it will tell you somebody's birthday's coming in 5 days, somebody's birthday's coming in 2 days. And what a great tool if you want to use the birthday technique to make an impression on an individual.
Right.
I think the challenge that I have when we're talking about making things personal or writing a letter that's personal is if you're trying to reach a large population with a letter or a blast or a postcard, How do you make it personal and still have it have universal appeal? That's the challenge.
That is a challenge.
Clearly.
Okay. I think following what Frank said is when you have holidays, like a lot of people get into giving at this time of the year in the holiday time, be unusual. I think we have to have the challenge as marketing, as the person reaching out, to be unusual. So we don't give during the holidays. It's afterwards, when everything is quiet, when you least expect that something's coming in the mail. That would be really great. So maybe not even birthdays. So you go from going from, okay, we're talking about having birthdays to, all right, some people get birthdays and some people get maybe a Valentine card. Or maybe you even personalize what you think the person would want, at what time of the year they would want. That takes a lot, though, Frank. It takes a lot of thought, and that database, your CRM, is going to have to be chock full with very personal things on. Now, if you're trying to reach 1,000 people, I do what Frank said.
But you're talking about relationship management.
Yes, I am.
And you know that, talking about being unique, here's an example of something that I've learned that really works. Let's say there's that one person that you really want to communicate with, that you really want to make the connection with. This is just such a cool idea. You're thinking about writing a letter. You're thinking about a postcard. You're thinking about, you know what you do? And this will always work. Get a package that's octagonal.
No.
And put a little gift in there, some chocolates, find out what the person likes, have it wrapped, and then send it to the individual. You know, you can send it in a regular box, but the package itself is octagonal. It's got you can have your sales letter and whatever it is, have a little gift. And they're guaranteed to open that.
Because it's unique.
And the gatekeeper is probably not going to open it because it's a gift. And who knows what's in that gift, right?
Exactly.
So when we're writing,
idea.
though,
great idea.
What's a couple of things? I was thinking one of the things when it comes to writing, and I can't stand when you get an email that's a lifetime long.
Right.
So would you say that short and concise, that's the goal? Everything that you do should be that way?
Everything you do should, I think that, yes, in communication, I think that that's the appropriate way because, again, you're respecting the person's time. What is it right up front? What do you need to do to get them going and respond to you? What do you think, Frank?
I completely agree, and that's something you taught me. Brevity is golden. People don't have a lot of time. They want to see it, and they want to process it in a second. Nobody wants to open a letter or an email that's in paragraph form. I don't care how interesting it is. Maybe if it's their kid's report card,
Right.
maybe they'll read it.
Right.
But there's nothing you're going to say to them that's important. They love short, concise, and they love bullets. People love bullets.
There's white space there.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and those bullets, make sure whatever in those bullets are the most important thing because that's where the eye is going to go right to those 3.
Right.
Right.
Or 4.
So then the next thing that I was thinking about that would be important for our communication, written communication though, falls in line with that. You give an email or even a postcard that gives short and bulleted points. Don't you have to have a way for things to be able to get to the next? Like, how do I get more? You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I think that's something that Rita was talking about in her session of the 6 M's. And, you know, I remember in college it was the 4 P's, but I like the 6 M's better.
I made that up.
I
I make up a lot of stuff, Frank.
But it's good. It's
It
good
works,
stuff.
right?
It definitely works. I think that you're right. If you're going to send an email or a letter, a call to action to get more information, because when it's your baby, you're attached to it. But if you can just give them a link, give them a couple sentences or a few bullets, give them a link, and they can click if they're interested.
Well, thank you so much, you guys, for coming on to the forum. My special guests, Rita Coco Consulting, and Frank D'Amelio from Target Intellect. To learn more about both of those people, check out our website, www.reverbnetwork.com. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.